$40 million and did not raise taxes, and instead cut the size of government 20%, including his own pay, and knew that his opponent had 2 chances to move jobs to Michigan and chose China. If they just knew those 2 things, he would win this election. There's a lot of play in this election. They just knew those 2 things. That's why, and his opponent knows that too, which is why he's got this plan, which is no plan at all. I'm for all the good things in life. I'm spending more money. I'm a Republican. Vote for me. You just got to decide how bad you want this. You just got to decide how important it is to you and your future. I have seen the research too. First, polls are a picture of a horse race that isn't over. Second, they're all accurate for the people they poll. So what you have to do is 2 things. Listen to Wendell Anthony and realize that if the young people voted, who voted last time, if the African Americans, if the Latinos, if the immigrants voted, who voted last time, if the disillusioned independents and moderate Republicans and Democrats who are just beat down and played out and frustrated decided not to vote their anger, but to channel their anger to look at the facts and said, this is the only guy with an economic plan, the only guy with an economic record, the only guy that actually gave you a balanced budget and smaller government and fabulous job growth, he would win this race and win it in a walk. And just remember this. When you hear, and you need to tell your friends this, they hear all these ads, ask them who the last person who balanced the budget was in Washington. Me. I never. Folks, I've seen this movie before. I have seen this movie so much that it's hard to stay awake watching it. They always say we're pro-business, but we create more jobs. I had more millionaires and billionaires than ever before. The difference was, when I was there, the bottom 20% did well too. We raised everybody's income. And I just want to say this, just for credibility's sake. Before I became president, in the 12 years of 2 Republican presidents, they quadrupled the national debt from $1 to $4 trillion. Then you let me be president, and the last 4 years I gave you 4 surpluses, paid $600 billion down in the national debt, left President Bush with a $230 billion surplus, and we'd be out of debt by 2015 for the first time since Andrew Jackson was president if they hadn't repealed my budget and gone back to trickle-down economics. Now, the reason I say this is, in that period, we had 22.7 million new jobs in that 8 years. That is more than they had in the 20 years, the 12 years before me, and the 8 years after. I also gave you the smallest federal workforce since Dwight Eisenhower was president in 1960 in his last year as president. I know what I'm talking about. This guy is one of the very finest mayors in America. He has produced over and over and over again. He has advanced democratic values in a way every Republican and every independent ought to respect. So, I'm telling you folks, these other guys are playing you. I said, we can go down there, those people in Michigan, they're mad, they're frustrated, they just want something new. Let's just serve up all this stuff and see if they lap it up. They're playing you. This country is coming back. We are going to get back. But the reason nobody feels it yet is this. You can recover 70% of what we lost when we fell into that deep hole, and you won't get any jobs. It always happens that the stock market picks up first and business income picks up first because people don't hire, they hold down and everybody works more productively. All the jobs are in that last 30%, and when we get out of the hole and go on into the future. But you do not want to bring back the shovel brigade. I don't want anybody to be happy, but I do want everybody to think. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. You have a uniquely qualified person. And there are states all over this country that would give anything to have, as a governor, a mayor who has worked with people from all parties, all kinds of people, produced consistent economic growth, balanced budgets in hard times, reduced government and increased its effectiveness. They would give anything to have it. Don't let this man lose, because you lose if he loses. If you're young, go home and get on YouTube and Facebook and email your friend. And if you're not so young, figure out some way to get people and shake them and say, look, let's pretend just for one shining moment this was something important like a football game, and let's look at the game films and the statistics. And if you do, he will be the next governor of Michigan. Thank you.